Part 35. The Mad Cultivator. Author, Xianxia. Chapter 342. 341. It turned out to be this way. Yekong He blushed, and hated Gao Yuanhang's old things in his heart. He didn't speak clearly and made others see that he was a rookie. Yu Hao probably watched more rookies, and smiled lightly. It's better to take out the materials from Li Daiyu, and I'll show you what magic tools can be made. Yekong was really blushing this time. The materials in his storage bag were either unable to be taken out or were not suitable materials. Yu Hao thought, you're mixing in Xianxian realm, wouldn't you have no materials? Reminded, Li Daiyu has killed any spirit beasts before, all those skins, bones, teeth. Yekong laughed awkwardly, not killed a spirit beast. Oh, Yu Hao also smiled, embarrassing the customer, not a good shopkeeper. He was busy and said, it's all right, I haven't killed many spirit beasts, so, Li Daiyu have dug all kinds of ore. No, I don't know where to dig. That's okay, have you ever planted a grass or a tree? I have the spirit grass. Ye grabbed a handful of leafy grass. Yu Hao immediately fell over. Yun Fuzong is down. Is this the first person in the hall? Have NT killed a spirit beast, have NT dug a mine, and used Chiba to make a magic weapon? Is this the first person to be a rookie? Seeing Yu Hao's expression, Yekong laughed, and put Chiba back into the storage bag, and laughed, I have NT killed any spirit beasts, digged ores, and planted some low-level spirit grass. Many people can be killed. Yekong said here, there was naturally a cold flash of light in his eyes. That Yu Hao saw clearly, could not help but feel cold. It seems that he did look away again. Now that this blackbird has the title of the first person in the outer court, how could it get stigmatized? Yu Hao put down his contempt, but still said in his mouth, Li Daiyu is wrong. The refiner, who is particular about the material, has nothing to do with the killing. If Li Daiyu killed the natural treasure, he could take it out. Tiankatabeo does not exist, but there is one magic weapon of the old ancestors. Yekong took out a round mirror again. Magic weapon, Yu Hao was surprised. In this kid's tone, could he have killed an old ancestor? Impossible. Is he a little monk on the 7th floor of gas refining, who can kill the ancestor of Jadan? This cow X blows up. Although Yu Hao didn't believe it, but took the round mirror magic weapon, and nodded, indeed, this is a magic weapon, although it can't be much exquisite, but it is also a magic weapon for ancestors, and wondered, what do you do with this magic weapon? Magic weapon cannot be transformed into a magic weapon. If disassembled into materials, well, this magic weapon is too small. I am afraid that the material removed is not enough labor. What if you can make it into a treasure? Yekong smiled lightly. In fact, when the Yujia firm saw the invisible needle Fubao, he had this idea. This round mirror was obtained by killing the impetuous monk Dan in Lingus Han. Not many people know it, and the power is not big. It is not small to say that if it is made into Fubao, it should be more than enough to deal with those monks who built the foundation in Yun Fuzong. It's okay to make Fubao. Yu Hao nodded, but said, however, to make Fubao must be made by the infant monk using infant fire. There is currently no ancestor of Yuanying in this name. Ah, Yekong frowned. If he could not buy the magic weapon and could not make Fubao, how would he face the next Nuobuit? But then Yu Hao said to himself, of course, we can send someone to send back to the refiner, but... Yekong finally knew that these were all adulterers, and one was more than the other, and in the end it was selling offenses, and they had to collect more spiritual stones. Predecessor you can make a price. Since I'm here, I'm prepared, Yekong said generously. Yu Hao was a little embarrassed, and said quickly, actually, it's not just the problem of the spirit stone. The main thing is to send it back and bring it back. I'm afraid the time is too late. Yekong busy asked, how much time will it take? 15 to 20 days, Yu Hao answered with certainty. Ye Kong looked down and thought. It's still 15 days before the distance. If there is a delay, it won't catch up. However, Napi was only a C-election at first. For the disciples in the gas refining period, Fuebao should not be used. Is it possible to arrive in 20 days? Ye Kong was certain again. I will definitely be there. That's good. With Yu Hao's answer, Ye Kong was relieved. He must not have been able to get the previous bone ruler Fubao. And according to his experience using Fubao, this thing is really powerful. Ordinary instruments can be easily broken even if they are good products. At the beginning in Bulinling Mountain, this round mirror magic weapon was much more powerful than the bone ruler magic weapon, which should be enough to deal with those who build the foundation. According to the experience of refining the runes last time, Ye Kong requested that only 4 runes be made, and the price is the same as the last time in Lingyao Shanfang City, half of which was used to make the runes. The only difference is that this time a leg running fee is added. If the smelter is really black, the leg running fee is as much as 1,000 spirits. Ye Kong got his wish, and now he wanted to leave. But another sentence of Yu Hao was a flash of light in his head. If Li Daiyu has any magic weapon next time, please feel free to come and make it. Yu Hao is kind. How can there be so many magic weapons? You know, the appearance of a magic weapon represents the fall of an old ancestor. Is it so easy to die? Is it so easy for the ancestors to die in the hands of the small gas repairer? This 80% of Li Hizi is also a coincidence, killing an old ancestor of Dan who was not able to fight back after the injury, or the elders in the martial arts left behind. But Yu Hao's words reminded Ye Kong. He suddenly thought that he still had a magic weapon. It is still a magic weapon for offensive and defensive dual power, and its defense ability is first class. Then Ye Kong thought of a certain clause in the Nuoboit announcement. Oh, Senior Yu, I really have another magic weapon. After hearing this, Yu Hao suddenly felt fainted. God, when did the old ancestors of Kangnan become so good to kill? Then look at the black boy in front of you with a pair of surprised eyes, and said, are you in the gas finishing period? After seeing Ye Kong bring out that magic weapon, Yu Hao's eyes brightened. Quickly took it over, looked back and forth, praised, good thing, this good thing, the shell of the 10,000-year-old tortoise, it is still so complete. The craftsmanship of the refining is worse. If I come to refining, it has to be harder. Ye Hollow Road, you only build the base period, can you refine the magic weapon? Predecessor Yu, can this be made into a Fubao? Ye Kong asked again. Then this good thing is making Fuebao. Yu Hao is also a master of refining. He has a different enthusiasm for these bizarre heaven and earth treasures. I heard that such a good and complete turtle shell is made into Fuebao. Immediately angry. Ye Kong was not annoyed by his expression, but a joy. You senior, could it be better to make something better? The Mad Cultivator. Author, Xianxia. Chapter 343. 3, 4, 2 turtle shells. It is possible to make a lot of things, but you can't use them. I think it is safest to make a weapon with both offense and defense. Yu Hao said a little thought. Speaking of this, Ye Kong couldn't help but question, Senior Yu, didn't you just say that Bao can't make a magic weapon? How can it be made into a magic weapon again? Where do you laymen of the artifact know? Yu Hao talked about the principle of the refiner, with a holy light on his face, and said, general magic cannot be changed into a magic weapon, because the magic weapon and the refinement of the magic weapon, the manufacturing method is different. When refining the magic weapon, the raw material structure of the main and auxiliary materials has all been changed, so even if the magic weapon is dismantled, you can't take out a few useful things, and this magic weapon is different, it is a turtle in its entirety. The shell, without other materials, has not changed in any way. So simply disassemble it. This is the raw material of a 10,000-year-old tortoise shell, and you can naturally make a magic weapon. Yekong seemed to understand, but he knew nothing about the refining device. The sharpening refining device of the star was like Tianzhu, and it was still lying in his storage bag. What he cares about is what kind of weapon can this turtle shell make. At least it's a top quality instrument, and accidentally it's a top quality instrument. Yu Hao gave the answer. Oh, Yekong was overjoyed. If it is a superb weapon, does it have additional functions? It's hard to say. The additional functions are based on the materials, which naturally appear after the refining is successful, and not all of the best magic tools have additional functions. Yu Hao looked at the turtle shell in his hand and said, if it is made into weapons are capable of attacking and defending, especially their defensive power must be amazing. It is estimated that the possibility of additional functions is not great. Yekong was slightly disappointed. So far, he has only seen one of the finest magic instruments, the octagonal sand dish. The stuff is really powerful, there is a space inside, and the sleepy and killing people are all first class. He thought that this turtle shell could also do that. However, even if it cannot reach the level of the octagonal sand plate, this turtle shell is very powerful. If you bring this thing to Napi, hey, I am afraid that the top 3 will be stable. Yekong Mang asked again, how long will it take to make this tortoise shell? 10 days is up, Yu Hao said with confidence. Okay, then I'll thank you. Yekong was in a happy mood, and very generous. He immediately left and paid for the 2,000 spirits manual fee. As soon as Yekong left, Yu Hao laughed, haha, this black maggot is really stupid, I haven't made such good materials yet, 10,000 years of turtle shells, Even if he doesn't give Ling Shi, I want to make it. Leaving the firm's business name, Yekong once again walked to Bai Jier's clothing workshop. It's been half a month since they met, Yekong could not help but speed up his pace. Bai Jier should have made the island student skirt, stocking skirt, haha yes swallowed and came to Dongju Street. However, it was found that the women's clothing factory was closed, so did something happen? The owner of the shop next door said, Boss Xiaobai felt a cold a few days ago and didn't open the door when she was sick. Oh, thanks. Yekong took a punch and quickly walked into the opposite alley. Yekong could not help but tremble in his heart. The last time was fine. Why did you get sick this time? It is really difficult for a woman to bring a child. When he came to Bai Jier's house, Yekong was surprised to find that Xianxia had not practiced, and was still taking care of Bai Jier, sitting on the couch and feeding his mother water. Yekong Ben believes that even if Bai Jier died, he would not care about such a guy as Chen Baixuan. But looking at the room, his little figure feeds Bai Jier with water, Yekong's heart shakes. Yekong's mind has always been very firm. The things he decides are difficult to change. The established plan is rarely implemented, let alone cancelled. But this time, he really wavered. Bai Jier had fever and weakness all over her body, and her soft red lips were now white and peeling. Chen Baixuan has called Lang Zhong to grab the medicine, but the effect will not be immediate, just drink it, there is no feeling. But Yekong is here to handle it. He doesn't even need to draw yellow paper to cure the disease now, and just taking out a monk's elixir can heal mortals. Xianxia elixir is 1,000 times better than mortal herbs. Bai Jier took the next elixir, and her face immediately improved. A pair of beautiful eyes also had a beautiful look, and her radiance glowed. Seeing the improvement of his mother, Chen Baixuan returned to the house to practice. Yekong held him again, explained some of his cultivation experience, encouraged him, and finally gave him a bottle of elixir. This is the first time Yekong has taken the initiative to care about Chen Baixuan. The main reason is that his thoughts have shaken. He thinks that this child can still be saved. If he can be taught, maybe the prodigal son will turn back. However, Chen Baixuan did not think so. He thanked Yekong with a smile and walked out of the door. The childish face immediately returned to coldness, and the light of hatred flashed. It's good for me, I just want to insert my mother. I won't thank you. Hypocrite, I will work hard to practice, and one day kill you guys and girls. In Baiji's room, Yekong sat on the couch and whispered, Sister Ji, you are sick, why don't you call me? Just let Xianxia send a note. Baiji knew that this guy cared about himself and did not refute it. She just laughed, hooked Yekong's back waist with her arms, lay sideways, and put her face on the outer side of Yekong's right leg. Must call me next time, Yekong snorted, took out a vial and placed it on the table, and said, these elixir will be left to you, whether you are sick or injured, you can eat it, don't save it what. Baiji's chill was already good, and his eyes were clear again, and black and white became clear. With a panacea, how can I call you? Baiji cried. You have to call me. Also, don't open the women's clothing factory if it's hard, or you'll hire a man, you want a woman. Seeing this boy's carefulness, Baiji laughed with her lips covered, and then her little hand turned into a pink boxing hammer on Yekong's leg. Will you be an elder sister and look at other men? Your elder sister's everything one person. To the reader. I sent it to the 7th day today. Do NT stay with the bricks? Recommend a friend's new book Harem Entertainment and other updated day you can go and see. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. The Mad Cultivator. Author, Xianxia. Chapter 344. 3 beauties give away shirts. Returning from Surabaya city, Yekong returned to the small pharmacy, and found that the little pepper and cucumber sister were already waiting for themselves. Zhang Wei has been estranged from Yekong since he last hugged him in public. Actually, Zhang Wei has no meaning at all. It was because she hadn't decided yet, and was afraid that it would cause trouble to the sunspots. Finally, she was a bit shy, so when she saw Yekong coming back, the little pepper didn't move her head. However, Huang Zixuan greeted him cheerfully, Brother Heza, did you buy it for me? After all, it was a girl's skin-tight clothes, and Huang Zixuan's pretty face could not help but become red. Here you are. Yekong took out a brocade box. When brought from Baiji, there was no outer packaging, but it was a bit indecent to hand it directly to the girls, so he bought a flat brocade box on the road. Thank you. Huang Zixuan took it, opened it, and glanced at it, then looked at it embarrassedly. Inside is a set of pink inner show, there are up and down. Last time Zhang Wei just wore a bra and no pants. Huang Zixuan did not know what it was, regardless of him, put it away. This is yours. Yekong took out another brocade box. And mine. Zhang Wei was a little surprised, and said, wouldn't he really have that mind? But when I opened it, I found that it was not a gift, but the custom-made clothes she had in Baiji last time. Zhang Wei could not help feeling a little disappointed. Then the three entered the medicine garden. Yekong asked, how well did your defense weapon work? Did you succeed? Zhang Wei's face faded, and he said, only one Chinese armor was made. That's very good. Chinese quality defense instruments, thousands of spirit stones are sold outside, and Chinese quality instruments are also good or bad. Yekong thinks that Zhang Wei can make Chinese quality instruments very good. But Zhang Wei was dissatisfied. So good materials, 3,000 years of wood thorns, it should be possible to make top quality magical instruments, but I wasted the materials. Zhang Wei is right. If such a good material is used for refining by the master, it must be at least a top quality instrument. Yekong comforted, it doesn't matter, even those masters of the refining craftsmanship don't come overnight. You don't have to demand yourself. With this defensive weapon, you have a better chance of getting the Keaton. Yes, Sister Wu Yi, you have secured Zujiden this time. According to the new rules, The top 20 disciples in the gas refining period can all receive Zhujidan. Huang Zixuan also said. Ye Zhonghui smiled, but when she looked at Ye Kong, she was worried. But you brother Suizi, you are really unfair. Why is it against you alone? No one wants to see my strength yet. Ye Kong thought of Cao Guang's smile Keiju's face. The old guy wants to force me to reveal stuffing, I just don't use the magic weapon I used before. Well, Huang Zixuan also sighed. She didn't expect Brother Heza to enter the top 10. Although Brother Heza is very powerful, it can be said that the refining period is invincible, but if he wants to enter the top 10, he must compete with his disciples in the base period. There is a difference, wanting to win, hanging again, not to mention, the top 10 are all disciples in the middle and late stages of building. I don't think I want to see your strength, but I don't want you to practice in the formation, Huang Zixuan said. Ye Kong didn't think so. If he didn't want him into the battle, Cao Guang's ancestors wouldn't mention it personally. Zhang Hui also sighed. In fact, I want to make a armor of wood thorns for you, but the material is not enough. It will be almost, if only a little more. No need, I have defense tools. Ye Kong quickly refused. He was wearing the inkwell weapon, with a sword and shield in his hand, and a huge tortoise shell with amazing defense. What else is the wood thorn armor? But Zhang Hui thought that a black man was comforting herself. She thought about it, bit her red lips, and suddenly said, "Back your body." Ye Kong ignored it and opened his mouth. Zhang Hui stomped his feet, "Get your back on." Ye Kong didn't know what she was going to do, and turned her back. I heard a snoring sound behind me. No, isn't she undressing? Little Pepper, even if you agree, you don't have to be a cucumber crush. It's evil to meet you in front of Huang Zixuan, it's too evil, my buddies are not ready. Ye Kong thought very shamelessly. Of course, Zhang Hui didn't want to engage in anything with him, but took off the wooden thorn's inner armor worn in the skirt, and then put the outer skirt on again, which made Ye Kong look back. I should have a great success rate in building Zhujidan, so this wood thorn inner armor is for you. Zhang Hui sent the gray armor-colored armor-shaped armor to Ye Kong. Holding the soft and thorny wooden thorn inner nails, Ye Kong felt the warm body temperature of Zhang Hui's small body on top, and the slight residual temperature penetrated into Ye Kong's skin and flowed into the blood. Finally came to my heart. Who says that the Kangnan mainland is indifferent, who says that monks only talk about strength, and who says that this world has no true feelings? Ye Kong once again felt the warmth from the soul. Thank you, but I can't ask. Well, in fact, I went to the cultivator zone to customize the defense weapon today. Ye Kong returned the armor to Zhang Hui again. Where did Zhang Hui believe? When he first came to Zhongli, he heard that he had lost all the spirit stones. He also collected spirit stones for himself some time ago. Where did he come to add defense tools to himself? Huang Zixuan also knew this and persuaded, "Hey brother, you don't need to be embarrassed, don't I think you need this armor more, you can't do it?" Zhang Hui pushed the armor back again, "Brother Heza, don't reject it. We know that you are masculine, and you can accept this armor without losing face. You will always be the man in our hearts." I really. Ye Kong was depressed. Why no one believed it when he was telling the truth these days, and finally came up with machismo, but the last sentence was still very decent. Actually, this armor is not for me, but it's for women. You can see that there are bulging designs on the chest parts of the front panels on both sides, but I didn't pack them in, so they don't fit. Ye De Rogue said, while rubbing with his fingers in the depressions on both sides, as if feeling the residual temperature left somewhere in the small pepper. Dirty, Zhang Hui blushed and pulled back the armor, and stepped on the hooligan's instep. Ye Kong smiled smugly and had to use this trick against girls. But Zhang Hui had to give it to him, and said, "I'll take it back and change it." Ah, Ye Kong sighed. "Why don't you believe me?" I said that I have gone to the cultivator to make a magic weapon. What good is it to lie to you? I have encountered many disciples there. The Mad Cultivator. Author, Xianxia. Chapter 345. 344 Napioi started. Seeing Yekong saying this, Zhang Wei was doubtful and asked, "Really? Of course really, do I need to lie to you?" Huang Zixuan said, "If you dare to lie to us, I'll beat you all over." "Okay, if I didn't lie to you, I'd beat you fart 100 per person." Zhang Wei knew a little about this person's despicable people, and said quickly, "Hey, I'm not involved, don't include me." Huang Zixuan was a newborn calf, and said loudly, "Okay. I bet on you." "Then you just wait to call me. Well, it's not buddies who give you a cover, but you drill into the cover yourself." After listening to their bet, Zhang Wei regretted it again. Why don't I participate? Why can Zixuan let him fart? Share, can't I? But at the moment, I regretted it too late, and the black man ordered me. "Go back first, I have something important." Huang Zixuan said angrily, "Let's wait for you for a long time and rush us as soon as we come? What important thing can't we know?" Yekong grinned, "I want to break through again." God! He wants to break through again. Zhang Wei was amazed. What is the origin of Brother Heza? After seeing him on the Wuan River, he is the 6th floor of gas refining. Only a few months. Broke through again? 3.5 months, 2 floors. Oh my God, this is too fast. Although Zhang Wei is full of doubts, it is not convenient to ask. Many monks have secrets. Zhang Wei and Huang Zixuan had to leave the medicine garden first, just happened to meet Zhang Wulin on the road. Zhang Wulin got the news from Yekong and came to thank him, just happened to be blocked by his sister. Zhang Wulin was also surprised when Li Heza was promoted again. This speed is too fast. However, Zhang Wei still said, even if he breaks through, it is only 80% of gas refining. If you want to enter the top 10, it will be more difficult. Yes, Sister Wu Yi is going to let him wear the wood thorn armor, he is still dead and refuses to accept it. Huang Zixuan helped. "Ah, give him armor." Zhang Wulin found something and looked at his sister meaningfully. He had heard that they were holding each other in public. Zhang Wulin was still a little unbelievable. Now it seems that the two are developing very fast. Zhang Wei was shy, flushed, and bowed his head, but he doesn't want to say that it has been customized in the refiner sect, but where does he come from? Haha, I don't think it's okay. Zhang Wulin sent a word to his sister through spiritual communication. "It's really him," Zhang Wei exclaimed, "if Li Heza is really the one his brother said, then don't worry about him. Is he still worried about the spirit? Can't he beat the real human being?" However, Zhang Wei thought that when the boy raised a spirit stone for himself, he didn't even dig it. She gritted her teeth again. If this confirmed the dead egg, I must beat him all over. "What did you say?" Huang Zixuan blinked and said, "I want to beat him all over." 15 days passed quickly, and Yekong didn't show up during this period of time. Just one day before Nuabuit, he quietly went out and went to Surabaya to get the turtle shell weapon. Yun Fuzong's most lively napi has finally begun in the gong of Cao Guang's ancestors. I saw that in the broad white marble square in front of the tall and majestic inner blade hall, 11 platters were lined up. Each one is very wide and half height. There are also several stands around the ring stand. On the high steps in front of the inner hall, there is a row of festive red carpets. On the carpet, there are more than 10 carefully carved spiritual wood chairs. This inner blade hall was originally built on the highest peak of Yunfuzong. The entire palace was made of white jade. With the festive dress at the moment, it seems to be more solemn and solemn. More than a dozen sitting on the stage were Yun Fuzong and other great monks from Kangnan, with Cao Guang, the ancestor with white hair and white beard, and 9 golden clouds on the chest. On such occasions, the ancestors of Zongdan in Zong are not qualified to sit up, but the ancestors of Zandan have other uses, and they sit on the side of each ring to be referees. And in the open space in front of the hall, there are dense crowds, that is, Yun Fuzong's disciples. Some of them are contestants, and some know that they are hopeless. They simply do not participate, just to see the lively. A total of 1,249 disciples in Napi have signed up for this event, including 852 disciples during the gas refinery period and 397 disciples during the foundation period. The number plate competed in the first 8 competitions, and the students in the base period were in the last 3 competitions. Yun Fuzong's head Zhongzihong announced the arrangement of the competition. Zhou Wei, the ancestor of the corpse Yin Zong Yuan infant sitting behind watching the ceremony, whispered, "Congratulations to Cao Guangdao, Gazong is indeed a talented person. There is almost 400 comparisons. It's really enviable that Mingzajiti disciples participated." Cao Guang's ancestor twisted his smile and said, where, although your corpse Yinzong is remote in northern Xinjiang, its strength cannot be overlooked. Zhou Wei heard a little discomfort in his remote in northern Xinjiang, but still laughed. My corpse Yinzong has always been crowded out by various factions, and we all think that we are not decent, but the evil devil believes that we are decent. Really it's not a person inside or out, and it's only to stay in a remote place to rest and recuperate. Cao Guang thought, who told you to have a mouth coffin behind you? What skills are not easy to do, you have to make a name for the dead. However, Cao Guang still smiled, at least we Yun Fuzong still regard your dead Yin sect as brothers. Zhou Wei nodded, showing approval. But then he asked again, I heard that this time Nuoboit, the top 150 can all enter the 9-turn spiritual formation to practice? You know, the 9-turn spiritual formation will overdraw the nearby aura. Although the disciples can be advanced quickly, there is harm in peace, and the gain is not worth the loss. I am afraid that the aura surrounding Yun Fuzong will not be restored for 10 years. Now that the news has spread, Cao Guang didn't want to hide it, and smiled. This case also takes this into consideration, but watching the disciples progress slowly, our hearts are anxious. Zhou Wei knew that Cao Guang didn't tell the truth. He hummed, and said, I'm afraid Cao Dai heard something. Cao Guang looked stunned. What's the news? Tell us a little bit, we really don't know. Don't know if you still have such a fast track array? Zhou Wei shouted, I don't know what news I'm guessing. If Cao knows anything, don't forget to inform us of the dead corpse. You know you can't forget us. Cao Guang laughed. The Mad Cultivator. Author, Xianxia. Chapter 346. 345 Inside Then 1. The ancestors on the viewing platform exchanged ideas, and the same was true of the Yun Fuzong disciples below. Wu Yi, which station are you in? Huang Zixuan asked among the crowd. I'm the 58th, of course the first one. Zhang Wei looked at the number plate in his hand and asked, what about you? You don't care about me. Huang Zixuan took a sip, and Bonu said, I am a complete gas refiner, and I have already built Zujidan. What else am I participating in? Oh, you don't participate, I forgot to give you a gift, or we will go back and change the bra. Zhang Wei giggled in a low voice. Go to you, what are you talking about? Huang Zixuan's face flushed, but in the end it was all the little girl's heart, and she even frolicked in the crowd. After a while, Zhang Wulin and Li Ruo also came. Zhang Wulin was late for registration and was assigned to platform 11. Li Yao, who was in the base period, was on platform 12, and the two were approaching. Fate. When Zhang Wulin came, he asked, what's wrong? Are the black brothers here? Everyone shook their heads and said that they had not seen it. Zhang Wei and Huang Zixuan looked around. Perhaps he is with those disciples in the outer hall, Zhang Wei said. But soon, Huang Zixuan found the figures of Lan Tianming and Ye Xian and asked them to ask, only to find that they didn't see Li Hizi either. Don't forget it. Should we call him at the small pharmacy? Huang Zixuan asked. But at this time, unpleasant laughter rang out. Haha, I don't think he dares to come. Everyone looked back, and saw that Qiu Jianguang, who was also consummate in gas refining, came over with some younger brothers, and they had all inquired about it. In the past half-month, Li Hizi has not gone out of the medicine garden at all. Probably make head turtles. Ye Feng followed with a smile. Yeah, if you let him participate in the competition of gas refiners, maybe he can still enter the top 100, but who knows, but he wants him to enter the top 10, haha, the top 10 are all in the foundation period. Uncle, Zhongli's decision is really wise. Qiu Jianguang laughed along with him. He had already inquired that Li Hizi was not only poor at the roots, but also poor and poor. Hearing that he had also been thief when he first entered Zhongzhong, he lost all the spiritual stones he earned as a casual repair. The monks compete, to a large extent, is the spirit stone. If you do nt have a spirit stone, you do nt have a good weapon. If you do nt have a weapon, you still want to win the game? It's a foolish dream, no wonder that the kid last came out with a big hammer, and he dared that he couldn't get the magic weapon in his hand. Poor ghost. If he dares to come to the game, he must use Laozi's Howling Wolf King. At that time, I have to ask the ancestor of Zongnei, what kind of behavior is this robbery of his disciples? Qiu Jianguang snorted. Huang Zixuan had no feelings for this guy with the door, and came forward to drink and asked, Qiu Jianguang, you have already completed your gas refining, and you have already built Jidin. What else are you going to join? Qiu Jianguang laughed and laughed. How? I just want to participate. You go and see the rules of the game. I have the right to participate in the game, it doesn't matter if it's a ranking, I just want to come and fight with that blackbird. I'm afraid he has fled from the wind, hiding from people, haha. Ye Feng finished, and the younger brothers laughed. Lan Tianming snorted with a nose, and said to himself, I don't know who is hiding from people, but also said that the foundation was closed. Could it be that the foundation failed? His voice was not loud, but everyone heard it clearly. Qiu Jianguang was ridiculed in public, his face blushed, and his storage bag yelled, Boy, how old are you? Who allows you to speak? Here you are. Well. Qiu Jianguang really is not the poor. When he patted his storage bag, he even took out a top-grade flying sword. However, at this time, I heard a cry behind me and said, here is a test of all Yunfuzong disciples. Why is he not talking? Why do you think you are a loser? You have a word. Upon hearing this voice, the disciples in the public hall were all excited, Brother Li is here. As soon as Ye Kong came, the disciples in the hall suddenly rose, Qiu Jianguang and others looked around. I don't care about you, I see you on the ring, Qiu Jian snorted loudly and turned away. Ye Kong's voice rang back, hope you can see me. As soon as Ye Kong came, it became lively all around. Many disciples asked, Brother Li, are you sure you are in the top 10? Brother Li, tell us about your mood now. Brother Li, would you feel sorry if you lost? Ye Kong feels ashamed, these guys still have the potential to go to Earth as gossip reporters. It was very difficult to send the disciples of Ki's Hong Weitang, a few people close to him, so that they could surround them. Hey, what about the powerful defensive weapon made by the refiner sect? Huang Zixuan occupied the left side of a black man, and she was still thinking about playing this kid full of bags. It's not the time to take it out, Ye Kong grinned. Of course, the powerful stuff had to be taken out at a critical moment. Zhang Wei took a step slower, but also occupied the right side of a black man. Since the two were a little unclear, Zhang Wei was a little embarrassed and looked down and cared, why are you here now, everyone thinks you are not coming then. Well, it's not going to the refiners section. However, Zhang Wulin was more sharp-eyed and came over and hugged his fist. Size, no matter what, congratulations on your successful breakthrough. Then everyone remembered, yeah, he didn't come out recently, but he was breaking through. Suddenly, the monk's sky eye technique came right, and then all came to congratulate him on reaching the 8th level of refining gas. Yekong was immediately surrounded by a circle of people. As he politely greeted each other, a sharp voice shouted on the 10th platform, on the 45th, Li Hiza was preparing for the first game. The woman's voice is also very familiar. Everyone looked back, and saw a dignified and elegant beauty standing on the platform 10, looking at it with staring eyes. Seeing that it was Cao Muking, all the disciples scattered slowly. Yekong touched his nose, NND, why I was so moldy, it was on the stage where this woman was the referee. In fact, it was still too early to start the game. Cao Muking was a public grudge, and watching everyone staring at Gongyo surrounded Li Hiza, her heart was upset. The other days haven't begun to prepare yet. Why did Titan start first? Did the ancestor want to chat with the sunspots? Yekong knew that Cao Muking would not treat him in public, so he lazily walked over to ask. Well, let me enforce the law, you have to come to the wrong way. Don't think that you show me the medicine garden, I will open up to you. The ancestor really looked at me very much. During the C election, was it necessary for me to deal with those who are purifying gas? Is it necessary for me to crook the door? Yekong said dismissively. Cao Mu smiled proudly, don't think that this platform is my referee, and all the tests you follow are my referees. You ancestor, I have enmity with you. Cao Muking enjoyed the angry look of a black man, and then she smiled and whispered, how about a trade? To the reader. Today I recommend my friend's book, Evil Charm Repair, Old Authors Love Style Works, Book Shortages to See. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. The Mad Cultivator. Author, Xianxia. Chapter 347. 346 Inside 2. Hearing Cao Muking said the deal, Yekong certainly understood her. Sir, I'm sorry, I never sell the feelings that others give me as goods, whether friendship or love. Rejected by Yekong, Cao Muking still didn't give up, and said, if you promise, I will keep you in the top 10. Cut, you think you can't make it into the top 10 because of my strength? Even if you enter the 8 layers of gas refining, you want to enter the top 10? You dream. Cao Muking sneered and said, then I'll wait and see, if you really enter the top 10. Yekong busy interfaced, how? Cao Mu fell in love once, and of course he wouldn't bet against him, humming softly, even if you can do it. Your ancestor, what do I want you to do? Yekong laughed, will we bet once? There was a slight ironic smile on Cao Mu's charming face, stinking man, you were so shameless that you just said, it was really shameless. She said, Li Hiza, you just said that no matter whether friendship or love will not be used as goods and cannot be traded, why do you use it as a bet? Who said to take those as a bet? Yes snorted, put his face over, and whispered, if I lose, I will teach you 180 ways of my Li family picking up girls. Passing the girl is absolutely authentic. After 18 single passes, it can be called the supreme method of picking up girls. After long-term use, no girl can escape her clutch. Cao Muking took a sip, and she didn't believe it. Then change another one. My family's other family passed on school, XX Posture 99 Style, Unisex, is a classic book in the couple's room, and a book with a female self-pacifier, both ends pointed yes, it's very suitable for Sheila, such as Shizu. Get off. Get off, Cao Muking finally ran away. Seeing Li Hezi and Cao Muking talking, countless disciples on the stage were watching. Although they couldn't hear what they said, they could see clearly. When Li posted the Cao Muking ancestor and spoke, the big mouth had to be affixed to Cao Muking's pink face, and everyone sweated for a black man. Everyone thought, "Brother Li, you are too bold, you are playing with fire. Cao Muking is far more dangerous than the tigress fart." However, unexpectedly, the horrible Cao Muking ancestor of BT did not explode, but pushed a black man blushing red, leaking the young daughter's family look he had never seen. "Brother Li, master, it's really high. Admire, admire. If I can learn Brother Li's ability, I will be able to cross the Kangnan flower world. Yeah, Brother Li doesn't have low self-esteem for being so dark. This repair is nothing more than a goldfish eye, a sky nose, a brow eyebrow, and a few ring-shaped legs. It seems that I can boldly pick up girls in the future." Everyone was scared back a few steps away from the man. Huang Zixuan could see clearly, and hurriedly whispered, "Sister Wu Yi, Brother Hezi, I will not really be related to Cao Muking." Zhang Wei smiled and pulled Huang Zixuan, and said, "I'd like it." Soon, Nuoboat began. Ye Kong, in a white shirt, stood sternly on the side of the platform, with his hands behind his back, and looked at the other disciple on the opposite side. What surprised Ye Kong was that the other side's cultivation was not too high, but too low. Only at the level of the fourth layer of gas refining, he would only manipulate the instrument, so I would like to compete and want to enter the top 100. Brother Li, Brother Shizhe is justified, and he also invited his brothers to show mercy. This monk named Shizhe was just for fun, but he didn't expect to meet the first person in the outer court in the first game. Secretly crying. "Rest assured, Li will never embarrass you." Ye Kong smiled a little. She still understands politeness, but no matter how, Ye won't let him win. "Brother Li, please." Shi Yan swallowed and said. Many people watched the first test in the outer hall, and when they saw Shi let Ye Kong go first, everyone laughed. "You look like you let others take the shot first. If he shot it, can you still take it?" Shi felt uncomfortable, smiled embarrassedly, patted the storage bag, offered a sublime flying sword, and said loudly, "Brother Li, be careful." Looking at Shi Yan's trembling Fei Jian, Ye Kong didn't make him too shameless to kick Fei, but moved his body and caught Fei Jian empty-handed. Ye Kong didn't chase after victory, pinching Fei Jiandao, "Brother Shi, stop here." Unexpectedly, Shi Ji was upright and raised his head. "Brother Li taught us not to step back. After talking about the flipping of his hands, he is doing the magic of fireball." However, before the end of Shi Jifahu, I saw a white shadow in front of me, the back collar was pulled up vigorously, and then the body fell uncontrollably from the platform. Ye Kong threw him down without making him too ugly, just a puppet, and Shi Piao stood still. Brother Xie showed mercy. Shi Zhe was thrown away without a single move, flushed. Ye Kong raised his hands up in Fiji and flew into Shi Ye's palm. "Master Shi, it's true that you don't give up, but you also have to talk about a strategy and divide it with me. There is this sentence from a black man, the next test is easier, most of them are disciples outside." Those disciples also knew that they could not beat, and simply held their fists. "Brother Li, if you don't hit yourself, your brother will give up. I wish my brother to successfully advance to the top 10. Ye Kong also gave a courtesy to such a fellow student and thanked him. Even if he hit, the other party did not have any hope of winning. A total of more than 800 practitioners of gas refining participated in NAPI. Each Zhengtai had more than 100 disciples, and finally left 12 or 3 to pass the election, that is, as long as they defeated 4 opponents. Ye Kong fought tirelessly for 3 games. Of course, he was really not tired, he didn't work hard, and the storage bags were not used. All this made Cao Mu annoyed. Yekong wanted to fight another battle and complete the promotion task. A monk could be required to play up to 3 games. Yekong had no choice but to leave the ring. Seeing that the first person in the outer hall did not play today, all the disciples assigned to this platform took a breath and secretly called fortunately, and then several disciples went up to the test. Yekong didn't care too much. After leaving the platform, he went straight ahead and watched Zhang Hui's test. As a successful monk in the gas refining period, he was still very dominant in the test of gas refining disciples. The 9th level female refining practitioner of gas refining is also called bad luck. Martial arts. But there is a reason for this chance. Because the ones who registered first were from Zhujidan, the serial numbers of these people are similar, and they are also on the first few podiums. However, Yamao took it easy. Later, those who signed up were all lucky to hear the news, and the repairs were all inferior. Yekong naturally won easily. The Mad Cultivator. Author, Xianxia. Chapter 348. 347 within 3. Have you finished? How many games? Huang Zixuan, who watched the game from the audience, did not expect this boy to come so fast. He had originally made an appointment with Zhang Hui. He will play a match today and see a black man after the fight. 3 games. Yekong didn't hide it, not to mention bragging. But Kui Mai didn't believe it. I didn't finish this game, so you finished 3 games. You are too fast. Aren't you kicked off? Huang Zixuan said with wide eyes. Looking at those and white eyes, Yekong smiled, put it in her ear, and whispered, actually, I didn't do anything. The key is that the name of the first person in the hall is too scary. They see me standing there, when you came up you confessed. It turned out to be this way. Huang Zixuan believed it. Those outsider disciples were frightened by this name and took the initiative to admit defeat. It is indeed very possible. Then you didn't use that new weapon? Huang Zixuan asked again. Of course, good things need to be taken out at critical moments. Yekongmin spoke in her ear, and the corners of her mouth seemed to touch the scattered hair roots on the back of Huang Zixuan's neck, and the hot air from someone's mouth sprayed on the root of her ear. You can clearly see Huang Zixuan's refined. The small earlobe is so beautiful and cute. He's don't talk to me like this. Huang Zixuan whispered, lowering his head. Why? Whoever has an opinion, I'll hit him. Someone put on a rogue look. Huang Zixuan hid and laughed. Brother He is probably a rogue on the street in his hometown. Don't look at it, it's not that others have an opinion, it's itching on my neck. Huang Zixuan pulled a hooligan. Itch? Then I will help you grab it. Rogues will not let go of this good opportunity, and immediately go straight. Don't. The root of Huang Zixuan's neck was all red. From a rogue's point of view, he just looked in from the back of the collar of the cucumber crush. Wow, Bai Shui straightens her neck, pink peach pink floats on it. The people around were watching the stage, and no one saw the 2 people making small moves. But Zhang Hui on the stage can clearly see that although everyone is adapting to polygamy, little Chili is still jealous. She wasn't mad, but the nun on the opposite side was sick. I saw that the flying sword of the other party was getting faster and faster. Seeing that she would not be able to stand up or die, the other party threw a magic note. Sister Wu Yi, I have resentment against you. The nun Xiu had the urge to cry. The female Xiu immediately conceded and surrendered. Yekong and Huang Zixuan also paused and shouted to the stage. Yes, cohesiveness is still quite high. When he applauds, someone naturally follows. Not only did he applaud, he also compiled a smooth slogan, martial arts, shocking the world. Chili Chili, easily won the bid. Zhang Hui listened to his heart's contentment. The little tadpole in his heart disappeared instantly, and he threw away a watery and gleaming gaze, and all the disciples felt a pain in his heart. Alas, all the cabbages made Black Bear's stun. Zhang Wei had originally planned to go to the black people for a match, but did not expect him to come so fast, so she decided to pursue it while she was fighting. The one that came up this time is not as good as the previous one. Naturally, the odds of winning are very low. Of course, Ye can continue to chat with Cucumber Crush. Hey brother, why are you called Wei sister Chili and me Cucumber? The girl always had a lot of strange questions. Because I like vegetables. Oh, what does that have to do with us? We are not vegetables and we can't eat them. Why can't you eat it? It's pretty, you can eat cucumbers and peppers. Huang Zixuan was blushed by the pink face. He said again. Brother Heza was really rogue. Why was he so ambiguous in his mouth? Shameless. So shameless. Hang one on the stage and hook up another under the stage. Li Heza, you are so shameless. Why don't you leave a few for me? Anger Cao Junfan was also watching Zhang Wei's test. When he saw this scene, he also crowded the crowd and came over and said, Master Li is really a good tool, Cao is really convinced, but Cao is not a person who gives up easily. Even if Wu Yishi really became your prince, Cao Junfan will watch for a long time. Just look at her happiness, look at her every day. Stop. Yekong blocked Cao Junfan's fascination eyes with his hand and asked, Brother Cao, come here this little, and want to dig a corner of Li? Then you ask yourself, when Cao Muking persecuted her, did she bravely stand in front of her? Cao Junfan blushed. This was where he felt most guilty. Nana said, I'm the golden retriever who is afraid of Cao Muking. Yekong sent a scornful look. Cao Muking persecuted her. You didn't go ahead, but now you're embarrassed to grab the fruit. Character, you are already on the edge of the cliff. Yekong is also strange. Why do you talk to me, no matter how men or women, like to blush? Cao Junfan was flushed with Yekong's words, and he couldn't wait to dig a pit to bury himself. He hated why he was so weak at first. If he was brave at first, maybe the situation is not like this. A good sentence once said, you are Cao Muking's nephew, she can kill you. With this in mind, Cao Junfan's heart calmed a lot, and many people's hatred for wives also disappeared. Brazili brothers, Cao has some connection. At the end of the matter, I blame myself. If I could overcome the fear at the beginning, I would not let you take advantage of it. Yekong is depressed. I am righteous and bright, so what is it? Brother Cao, in fact, I didn't take advantage of it. The key is fate, but now that you have figured it out, it's the best. In the future, you will overcome the fear in your heart and treat your love bravely. There is nowhere in the world. I took off my pants and ran across the street. I believe Brother Cao will soon find the lover in my heart. Huang Zixuan snickered. Brother Heza was really bad. What did he say? However, Cao Junfan was not laughed. He lowered his head and thought, yeah, sometimes, I just feel weak and can't overcome the fear in my heart. Cao Junfan is not bad at all, just a little stupid, much better than Qiu Jianguang. Yekong patted the back of his hand and comforted, I realize that the mistake is more than half successful. I think a brand new Cao Junfan, stand up again. When Ye was on earth, he did not flicker, and the words he spoke in the last few words were so loud that Cao Junfan was full of blood. Cao Junfan stood up again. Brazilian brothers, Cao Junfan raised his head suddenly, grabbed Ye's hand, and said aloud, brother. Let's kill the golden retriever together. Ye's face turned white, and he was almost stingy. He almost didn't stand fast. The golden retriever must be killed, but our main task at present is to get the corresponding ranking in Nuobuit. It should not be wasted. Reiki. This matter is still a matter of consideration. The Mad Cultivator. Author, Xianxia. Chapter 349. 348 and 4. Seeing Yes expression, Huang Zixuan giggled. Brother He's it is too bad, always fooling, this time it's okay, finally fooling on his head. Fortunately, Cao Junfan also had a test. He felt that Li He's statement was indeed reasonable, and nodded, if this is the case, then wait for us to finish, and then kill the golden retriever, kill this ugly thing that I have always feared. Good, Yekong quickly nodded, and Cao Junfan was eager to leave. Cao Junfan really left, but after walking a long way, he also shouted back, I'll tell you to come by then. Yekong spit blood. You ancestor, who did I recruit? Your own breaking things, what do you have to pull me to do? As soon as Cao Junfan was gone, Huang Zixuan giggled, hey brother, shall we kill the golden retriever? Go. I'm full, I'm going to kill Jin Mao, Cao Mooking's female BT isn't desperate for me. Soon, the game was divided, and Zhang Wei won the match without a doubt. She won 2 games and did not want to play anymore. Compared with Yekong, she was in a good game. Spiritual power is consumed a lot, if you want to fight again it is barely. Zhang Wei walked out of the ring in a spirited manner and asked, what did you say to Cao Junfan just now, do I think he is excited? Sister Wu Yi, it turns out that you didn't forget to care about Brother Zizi when you were fighting. Huang Zixuan said that Zhang Wei was flushed, and the 2 girls laughed together again. Wu Yi even couldn't help laughing. However, Yekong didn't watch them laugh, but watched on the stage. I didn't expect Zhang Wei to play Qiu Jianguang next. Qiu Jianguang this meeting is an 8-layer opponent of gas refining, and that opponent is also a bit strong. But Qiu Jianguang is stronger, this guy lost the Wolverine banner, and there are still 2 good weapons. One is a Chinese-style defense shield. This is not a physical shield, but a bead. This is Qiu Qianguang's other magic weapon, called Jingguangju. The metallic Chinese defense weapon, just like Jingguangfu, can form a circle of metallic shields outside the monk's body, but this gold shield is stronger than Jingguangfu several times, it is very powerful, and it is difficult to destroy general instruments. It can be said that with this golden light bead, Qiu Jianguang is already invincible in the test. Zhang Wei also focused his eyes on the stage. Yekong nodded, and he had already seen that this golden light bead was really good. The golden light shot down did not give Qiu Jianguang a layer of protection, but several layers of protection. It was really difficult to break it. In addition, Qiu Jianguang also has a top-quality flying sword. That flying sword is also very good. It can be turned into 3 and attack the opponent from 3 directions, which makes people defenseless. The average disciple during the gas gathering period is really not his opponent. That monk is going to be unlucky. Yekong could not help but sigh. With the guarantee of these 2 instruments, Qiu Jianguang quickly beat the other party step by step. The 8th layer refining monk retreated to the edge of the platform and shouted, I confess. But Qiu Jianguang still insisted that the Fijian reduce to 3 on the opponent's spiritual shield. Oh, the spiritual shield shattered. The disciple on the 8th floor of the gas practice drew a bite of blood and fell under the ring. It seemed to have suffered minor injuries. Qiu Qianguang's actions immediately caused a curse under the stage, but although he knew that Qiu Jianguang was intentional, he did not foul. After all, his flying sword was released. He could be interpreted as a miss, but everyone knows that in that case, he could completely stop. Qiu Jianguang wins, the ruling Jidan ancestor announced the victory, and finally snorted, don't take such a heavy shot next time. Yes, Shizu. Qiu Jianguang nodded his head humbly, but immediately arrogant to the audience, a pair of tiger eyes looked at Yekong and others with a provocative look. Stupid. This should be the case at this time. A black man was even more arrogant, staring at the stage with it in his right hand. Huang Zixuan and Zhang Wei followed suit, staring at Qiu Jianguang and crooked their mouths, comparing them with a middle finger. Hey brother, what does this action mean? I think it's handsome. On the way back, the two girls saw people better than their middle fingers, scaring a black man to dare not use this rogue action in the future. This action is very hooligan, symbolizing, somewhere in the man. When someone finished explaining, the two girls were flushed, and they no longer dared to raise their middle fingers. Obviously, after yes opening, the two girls now understood what the some part of the man was. In the evening, in the small pharmacy, everyone summarized the situation and the results were pretty good. Yekong won 3 games. There is basically no suspense. As long as he wins another game, he can pass the election. Looking at his opponent on the stage, if you want to win another game, it is basically no effort. Then came Zhang Weihai. She won 2 games. It was not easy, but it was not difficult. If the 2 games are lucky tomorrow, she can pass. Zhang Wulin is also a disciple on the 7th floor of gas refining. He took advantage of the last gas refining disciple's Yantai and played 2 games, also winning. Lan Zhongming and Ye Xian are the same as Zhang Wulin. These 2 guys are really lucky. If they are allowed to go to a few tables in front, they are afraid that they will not be able to support the 3 moves. Although Lan Tianming and Ye Xianxia were low, fortunately, they got some spiritual stone funding in Yekong. Before the game, they went to buy the same magic weapon. This was obtained for Nuoboat victory won the chance. After each person's situation was finished, Yekong laughed and said, "The 3 of you are all on the ring. I'm afraid you will meet as a result of the lottery." Ye Xian laughed, "If I meet Lan Tianming, I can still fight, but if I meet Brother Wu Lin, I will give up." Lan Tianming kicked him angrily, cursing, "You are a conscience boy, be careful not to cover you in the future." "Don't cover me, there are brothers covering me." "Okay, I fight with you." Everyone laughed when they saw the 2 live treasures fighting together. Yekong laughed and patted Zhang Wulin beside him and asked, "I don't know what the result of Sun's test was. We are a real person in the foundation period. Why haven't you come back yet?" Yekong said the sister-in-law is Li Yao. Others are not clear, but Zhang Wulin is very concerned. The base building test is much more intense than the gas refining side. Therefore, each disciple can only participate in a test at most every day. Fortunately, Li Yao won the first game already. Although she won, she can't be optimistic in the following, because Li Yao also built the foundation, and her strength on the platform was uneven. It was not long before she built such a foundation, and most of them were built for a long time. There are monks in the late foundation period. Therefore, Li Yao wants to win 4 games, basically there is no hope. As long as he meets a powerful point in the 4 games, he must be eliminated. Because he was worried about tomorrow's game, after the game, Li Yao did not leave the field, but was there to wait for the final statistics and the opponents he will meet tomorrow. While they were sighing, Li Ruo came back, and Zhang Wulin quickly went to ask about the situation. Li Ruo sighed and said, "I'm okay." To tomorrow's disciple on the 2nd floor of the foundation, but Weihai, she's going to be out of luck. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. The Mad Cultivator. Author, Xianxia. Chapter 350. Bad news. Listening to Li Ruo's statement, Yekong guessed at once. He had always been worried about it, but no one knew it. Obviously, Zhang Weihai also guessed this. She tilted her head and looked at Yekong, pouting her mouth, showing a helpless smile. What the is going on, talk about it, but several others have not guessed yet. Li Ruo smiled bitterly, tomorrow Zhang Weihai will be against Qiu Jianguang. As soon as this remark was made, everyone looked at Zhang Weihai with sympathy in his eyes. You know, all the people present, even the highest Li Ballad, have no chance of winning against Qiu Jianguang. The only Lihizi who is likely to outperform Qiu Jianguang is not on that stage. If Zhang Weihai is to deal with Qiu Jianguang, he will definitely lose. First of all, Zhang Weihai's cultivation is similar to Qiu Qianguang's, but the magic weapon is far from perfect. Although Zhang Weihai has a Chinese-style armor with wooden thorns, the attacking weapon is only a Chinese-style flying sword. It is easy to defeat Qiu Jianguang. Secondly, Qiu Qianguang's golden light bead guaranteed him to be invincible, and the attacking weapon was the best flying sword, which was obviously far better than Zhang Weihai. In the end, Zhang Weihai no longer had a whole card, but Qiu Qianguang's high-end instruments have emerged endlessly. Who knows if he has any powerful instruments? It can be said that this battle, Zhang Weihai lost. Compared with other people, this time is more important than Zhang Weihai. She has been in the gas refinery for some time, and she is waiting to build a foundation. If she can't enter the top 20 this time, she will have to wait until next year, or promise Cao Muking. It is certainly impossible to agree with Cao Muking, but whoever is a monk who has achieved great success in refining gas is not in a hurry to take Zhujidan. Originally, she had great hopes to get Zhujidan this time. Among the practitioners of gas refining, she was already standing at the highest point of the pyramid, but she wanted to die, but she met Qiu Guangguang, the abominable guy. Sister Wu Yi, don't be sad, I will always wait for you to retreat together. Huang Zixuan and Zhang Weihai's relationship is really good, she does not have to build a Jidan, waiting for Zhang Weihai together. No. You still retreat first, I have delayed you for so long, otherwise you are already the real person who built the base, Zhang Weihai said apologetically. Yes, Sister Xian still builds the foundation first, and you have built the foundation, which will also help Sister Wu Yi. Everyone else persuaded. Looking at them, you said something to me. Ye Kong shook his head and sighed, look at you as if you're doing something like life and death, and you haven't beaten, then you confessed? Take some confidence and some courage. Yeah, don't look down on me, I'm Zhang Weihai's gas refining. Little Chili raised Yang Yubai's fist. Yes, yes, we can't grow the ambition of others to destroy our own prestige. Everyone laughed, but there was a desolate taste in the laughter. Zhang Weihai wants to beat Qiu Jianguang? It's easier said than done. Zhang Weihai is a lively young girl. Although she was indeed depressed for a while, she quickly relaxed and took the initiative to joke, relax, I will help him to beat his crying father. The crowd laughed again, but they all knew that Zhang Weihai was joking. If he didn't say anything else, then Jing Guangzhu wouldn't break. In fact, Ye Kong Kong already had some ideas, just about to open his mouth, picking his sword eyebrows, opening the ban on the medicine garden, Cao Junfan stormed in. He also got the news and wanted to inform Zhang Weihai, but when he came, he found out that everyone already knew. We all know the news, aren't we trying to figure out a way now? Huang Zixuan sighed, lying weakly on the stone table in the middle of the medicine pavilion. Two little hands supported Yuan Run's chin. Frost Sai Shui's pink arms. Cao Junfan swallowed a spit and hated himself. Why didn't he care about this girl in the first place? That little arm is tender and really wants to bite. But now I regret being late, it seems that both girls have been occupied by bullies. Cao Junfan turned his head and found that the black face of a bully was getting darker and darker. He quickly drew his eyes away and smiled flatteringly, Brazilian brothers, in fact, I have a solution. I don't know if I should speak properly. This kid is a bit conscious and knows to ask for my opinion. Ye Kong nodded, hurry up and say something, don't sell it. Cao Junfan then said, Qiu Jianguang has two of the most powerful instruments, especially Jing Guangzhu, and put several metal protective covers around him. We all know that, let's talk about it, Huang Zixuan urged. Cao Junfan nodded, for now, the best thing is to take out all the powerful instruments, and choose the most powerful one from them, and let Wu Yi use it against Qiu Jianguang. As soon as Cao Junfan finished speaking, Zhang Wei quickly shook his head. No, no, you all have a test tomorrow. Give me a powerful weapon. What comparison do you compare? Anyway, the most important thing this time is you. It doesn't matter if we lose. Cao Junfan finished speaking, took a storage bag and took out his electric light. Wu Yi, you use it first. No, 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 I can't accept that you will lose without a magic weapon tomorrow. Zhang Wei quickly quit. She didn't want to have anything to do with this guy, and of course she couldn't accept such help. Zhang Wulan is purely thinking of his sister's stand. This electric light seems to be very powerful. If the younger sister uses it, he may win Qiu Jianguang. So Zhang Wulan quickly came out and said, so, you have too many weapons, and martial arts can't manipulate several pieces at the same time. It's better that everyone takes out the weapons and compares them, leaving one for martial arts, and immediately return it after use. When everyone heard it, they nodded in agreement. It was clear that everyone was very sincere and took out their best weapon. Blue Sky Minjai Xian felt that his weapon was too bad to take out, and they prepared them in their storage bags. Various spells used were taken out. However, the comparison of the magic weapon that the big guy put out is that Cao Junfan's electric light seems to be the most powerful. Wu Yi, just use it, don't grind it up, take it back and refine it, don't delay time. Cao Junfan advised again. Under the persuasion of everyone, Zhang Wei was a little shaken, but she pushed back Dian Guanjun and said, no, you will have a match tomorrow. If you lose, even if I win, I won't be comforted. Ah! You don't have to worry about me. My grandpa is the ancestor. If I lose, can he not let me enter the battle? Seeing Cao Junfan's performance in this way, Huang Zixuan's perception of this person improved again, and laughed. Wu Yi, you can borrow it temporarily, maybe you can win Qiu Jianguang. Just as Zhang Wei swayed from time to time, a voice suddenly sounded behind him, Brother Junfan, your kindness is in our hearts, but you do not have this thing Wei. The Mad Cultivator. Author, Xianxia. Chapter 351. 3 or 5 as a villain. Everyone looked back, it was Li who had not spoken. When Cao Junfan saw the black face, he thought he was jealous. Hurry up and said, Master Heeze, don't worry, I have no other meaning, I just want to help, everyone is good for Wu Yi, isn't it? Not only Cao Junfan, but almost everyone felt that someone was jealous. They didn't say one by one, but they were muttering in their hearts. Kuriko is too small. You just made up the instrument. You didn't say a word. Now that the instrument is selected, you are jealous and obstructed. Yakong shook his head and said, I don't mean anything else, I just don't think your weapon can break the golden pearl. Huang Zixuan suddenly thought of something, and laughed, I know, Brother Heeze has a more powerful weapon for Sister Wu Yi. The crowd then breathed a sigh of relief, and it was not unreasonable for Li Heeze to dare to make trouble. He had more powerful weapons to use for Zhang Wei. But who knew that Li shook his head, how can I use any magic weapon for her? Li Heeze's words immediately made everyone angry, why would you stop others from doing anything? Huang Zixuan even said, why don't you have a magic weapon, and the mysterious magic weapon you customized in the refiner sect? And your sword and shield? Yakong shook his head. The custom weapon is not used for martial arts. It is used for defense. Although the Jin Dun broadsword is suitable for both offense and defense, the attack power is still lacking, and Jin Guangju cannot be broken. After listening, Cao Junfan accused, Brother Li, I actually respect you very much, but this time, I think you are too much. Since you can't help Master Wu Yi, why do you prevent her from accepting the kindness of others? Is it the jealousy in your heart is making trouble? In fact, after this afternoon, I have planned to give up, but your performance is too disappointing to me. Cao Junfan said all the words in everyone's hearts, all of them looked at with different eyes, and made Yakong scorching. Cao Junfan. Did you want to be beaten? Didn't you see that electric light? I can catch it empty-handed, and I want to break the golden light beads, Yekong Huo said. Then you take out a magic weapon, and you have a magic weapon without a magic weapon. You have no choice but to stop others, you are just jealous. Cao Junfan did not show weakness. Your ancestor, Yekong, was really hot, holding on to Cao Junfan's collar, furiously. You don't need to care about this. You don't want to kill the golden retriever. Cao Junfan blurted out and wanted to say no, but think about it, if he killed that thing, he would be bold in the future, and he would rise up, and it would be the new Cao Junfan. I don't care anymore. You solved it by yourself. Cao Junfan took his anger, turned his head, and walked away. After making this unpleasant scene, everyone else also said goodbye. Huang Zixuan even stomped her feet and groaned, leaving her scornful look. Wu Yi, wait, I have something to tell you. Just when Zhang Wei was leaving, Yekong suddenly called out. Oh, Zhang Wei stayed down, but the visible line did not touch Yekong. There were only two of them left in the small medicine garden. Yekong walked to the edge of the linked yen, lowered his head and stroked the green grass, and asked softly, do you also think that I am a little childish today? Zhang Wei didn't speak, and he understood the meaning. She also thinks that Brother Hezi is too much today. You can't help it yourself, and you can stop others from helping you. It is really shameful to end up with such a big fire. Yekong sighed and turned back. If I say you will win tomorrow, but I can't tell you why, do you believe it? Ah, Zhang Wei always thought that Li Hezi had no choice, but now he knows that he already had a solution. Really? Zhang Wei laughed suddenly. Yekong smiled and said, the reason why I get angry is to keep them from worrying about it blindly. Although I have a solution, it is not convenient for me to say it, let alone in front of everyone. That was the case. Zhang Wei nodded, and it turned out that Brother Hezi was angry, and she asked again, what am I going to do tomorrow? Don't make any preparations, you just use your own magic weapon, use the original method, don't change anything, just like today. Ah! Can you win this way? Zhang Wei stared in surprise. Don't doubt it. Yekong walked over and said, remember I told you that I have an uncle who hasn't been through the door. She has never trusted me unconditionally or even in principle. I can also trust you completely, Zhang Wei said, his face flushed. What did I say? Is this a confession to Kuriko? The next day, countless disciples gathered again in Biao Square in front of Weidaotang. Some of these disciples participated today, and those who failed yesterday were more purely lively. After the chaos on the first day, the crowds who watched the battle the next day obviously had a certain pattern. All onlookers know that before the onlookers, find a match list for the day to watch, find out the names of the players you care about, and watch at a fixed point. The more well-known disciples, the more disciples with the same strength, the more likely the competition is fierce and the more people watch it. A black guy like who can win without a shot is really nothing to watch. Of course, it is not completely without audiences. There are several female fans who always sit down and wait for a black person to appear. They don't necessarily watch fierce fighting, they just scream as soon as they see a black man win easily. However, Yekong didn't care about them today, and released the top-quality Fijian Jindun broadsword, which directly frightened his opponent into admitting defeat. Although the referee Cao Muking was very angry and crunchy, the peaks kept rising and falling, but she didn't hesitate. The other party took the initiative to admit defeat. She couldn't find any fault. Li Hezi, win. Li Hezi won 4 games in a row, passed the election and was promoted. Cao Muking reluctantly announced the result and whispered, unfortunately, if you want to enter the big team, you must enter the top 10, don't be too happy. Ye was also polite, and whispered, unhappy to win? Did you learn to cry like you? Someone in my hometown has done experiments, and women who always cry, "Our rooms are more prone to sag." God. He took leopard gall and dared to say such a thing to me. Cao Mu's eyes widened, and there were thousands of people in this case, and no one dared to say such indecent words to her. But she thought, wouldn't it really be like that? The droop is so ugly. She happened to take advantage of her to escape, and went straight to the number 1 ring platform. I came to the number 1 ring platform and found that Zhang Weii and Qiu Qiangguang's competition had not yet started. Ye Kong took a sigh of relief. If he really got Qiu Qiangguang's release of Jing Guangju, it would be a bit difficult. Many people watched the battle under the stage. After all, it was a match between two refining monks, one was a big beauty, and the other was Qiu Qiangguang, who was famous for his fierceness. The disciples wanted to see a high-quality competition. Not far off the stage, Qiu Qiangguang's younger brother Ye Fen was whispering, "By and by, Qiu Qiangguang odds are 1 to 2, and Zhang Weii is 1 to 8.